The thin white Duke, draped in elegance yet dripping with danger, he was the latest persona of David Bowie, a man already renowned for his chameleon-like transformations. But this was no Ziggy Stardust, no starman bringing messages of hope. The Duke was cold, calculating, and utterly disconnected, a stark reflection of the turbulent times and Bowie's own inner chaos. The thin white Duke, characterized by sharp suits and slicked-back hair, emerged from the ashes of Station to Station, an album released on January 23, 1976, that was both celebrated and steeped in controversy. The Duke strode onto the stage like a character from a noir film, speaking of love like it was a scientific experiment, and tossing his emotions aside as easily as a discarded cigarette. Bowie described him as a very Aryan, fascist type, a troubling admission that mirrored the persona's detached and aristocratic airs. Yet, this was more than just an act. The Duke was a manifestation of Bowie's spiraling reality, his grip on himself slipping as he descended into a haze of cocaine addiction. Los Angeles had become both his playground and prison. Amid the city's glittering facade, Bowie found himself consumed by paranoia, convinced of sinister forces at every corner. He was reportedly living on a diet of milk, peppers, and the occasional line of cocaine, a concoction as surreal as his music. The occult, Nazis, and mysticism seeped into his waking nightmares, leaving him a shell of the vibrant artist who once sang about changes and heroes. The thin white Duke, in many ways, was Bowie's cry for help, a character so devoid of humanity that it forced the real Bowie to confront his own. It didn't help that Bowie's public statements during this time added fuel to the fire. The Duke's aristocratic leanings bled into Bowie's interviews, where he spoke of authoritarian figures with an alarming casualness. At one point, he was even photographed giving what appeared to be a Nazi salute while arriving in London, a gesture he later dismissed as an accidental wave. Nevertheless, the damage was done. Bowie's flirtation with fascist imagery sent shockwaves through his fans and the media, leaving many to wonder where the line between persona and person truly lay. The title track, Station to Station, a sprawling 10-minute epic, introduced listeners to the Duke in dramatic fashion. It began with the sound of a train, ominous, relentless, like Bowie's own descent into the abyss. The churning rhythm evoked movement, not just physical, but psychological. A journey through chaos and transformation. As the beat intensified, Bowie's voice emerged, cool and detached, introducing the thin white Duke, with an almost hypnotic cadence.
Return of the thin white Duke, throwing darts in lovers' eyes.
The return of the thin white Duke, throwing darts in lovers' eyes. These words painted a character both regal and cruel, distant yet magnetic. The lyrics oscillated between spiritual yearning and existential dread, infused with Kabbalistic imagery. It's not the side effects of the cocaine, Bowie sings, a line that felt both like confession and denial. The song's second half exploded into a funk-fueled climax, a moment of release before fading into the void. Then came Golden Years, a deceptively upbeat track glittering with soul, yet laced with melancholy.
There's my feet, they lost that soul. Once I'm begging you, save a little.
Inspired by 1950s R&B, its polished groove masked a deeper sadness. Some say it was written for his wife, Angie. Others believe it was aimed at an idealized past. Either way, the infectious rhythm felt like a man dancing to keep the darkness at bay. "Nothing's gonna touch you in these golden years," the line, repeated like a mantra, was both reassurance and desperate wish. Word on a Wing was a prayer wrapped in melody, Bowie's attempt to reconnect with something greater.
In this age of grand illusion, you walked into my life out of my dreams.
During the chaotic recording sessions, he reportedly turned to religion, seeking solace in faith. The lyrics suggested an artist grappling with belief, while the Duke delivered them with chilling detachment. Was this truly Bowie reaching for salvation, or another mask in his collections? The sinister TVC-15s spun a surreal tale of a television that swallowed a loved one, reflecting Bowie's fascination with technology and paranoia. Inspired by a drug-fueled hallucination, the track balanced absurdity with unease. The upbeat rhythm disguised the underlying tension, classic Bowie, making even the bizarre feel strangely relatable. The Duke, ever the observer, seemed more amused than alarmed. Stay was raw, electrifying, and seductive. Driven by funk-infused guitar and an urgent bass line, the track pulsed with longing and intensity. The Duke, usually composed, cracked under the weight of desire. It was primal, visceral, a desperate grasp at connection, though the lyrics hinted at its inevitable failure. Finally, Wild is the Wind, a cover closing the album, revealed a rare tenderness in the Duke. Originally performed by Johnny Mathis and later by Nina Simone, Bowie's version dripped with longing. His voice, rich with emotion, pierced through his persona's icy exterior. It was a love song, a tribute, and a reminder that beneath the Duke's chilling facade, traces of humanity still flickered. By 1977, Bowie had fled Los Angeles for Berlin, leaving the thin white Duke behind like a ghost in the rearview mirror. In the shadow of the Berlin Wall, he began to rebuild himself, diving into experimental sounds and shedding the personas that had once defined him. The Duke, for all his controversy, was a necessary purge, a character that embodied Bowie's darkest depths so he could climb toward the light. And though the thin white Duke may have been a fleeting figure in Bowie's ever-evolving story, his legacy endures as a haunting reminder of the fine line between creation and self-destruction.